Hi there, everyone. This is exclusive hot.
You're watching UTV TV for you.
Those outside our region, a pleasant good evening again, and welcome to UTV Channel 124, Saturday Sports Night, 7th edition for 2022. I'm your presenter, Anthony de Beauville. Tony, right? Yeah. And of course, you can also join us on our various media platforms, UTV 124. Our telephone numbers, 572-7588 or 484-7588. I don't have an in-studio guest with me this evening. Well, I was supposed to have an in-studio guest, but something popped up and, the person will decided to come next weekend. But I will be getting in touch with two very important people, as they will be hosting events next weekend, sporting events. And I simply hope each and every one of you had a pleasant week, be it work, school, or whatever profession you're in. I will bowl off this evening with some cricket news international-wise, and I'm referring to the first test between England and the West Indies, played at the Sir Vivian Richards Cricket Stadium in Antigua. Well, of course, that match ended not too long ago and ended in a draw. And scores first innings, England 311 all out, Johnny Besto 140, Ben Foakes 42, Ben Stokes 36, and Chris Wookes 28. Foakes, Stokes, Wookes. It reminds me of years ago in terms of England, Australia. Lillicott, Willie, Boldilly. So now you have Foakes, Stokes, and Wookes. Bowling for West Indies, Jason Sales 4 for 79, Jason Holder 2 for 24, Alzari Joseph 2 for 70, and Kima Roach 2 for 86. West Indies in reply 375 all out in 157 overs. Of course, Bonnet 123, Braffett 55, Holder 45, John Campbell 45, Joshua Da Silva 32, and Veresami Pamal 26 not out. Bowling for England, Stokes 2 for 42, Lish 2 for 79, Overton 2 for 85, and 1 wicket each to Wookes, Mark Wood, and Dan Lawrence. England in the second innings, 349 for 6 declared. Zach Crawley 121, Joe Root, captain, 109, Dan Lawrence 37, Chris Wookes 18, and Johnny Brestow 15 not out respectively. Bowling for West Indies, Alzari Joseph 3 for 78, Kima Roach 2 for 53, and Jason Holder 1 for 56. Chasing 295 for victory. The West Indies ended not too long ago, like I said, 147 for 4. Craig Braffett 33, John Campbell 22, Jason Holder 37, Bonnet 38 not out respectively. At one point, the West Indies, they were 59 without loss. But 4 quick wickets pegged them back at 4 for 67. Bowling for England, Jack Leach 3 for 57, Stokes 1 for 24. And of course, that's Da Silva. Vision a short pitch delivery. Of course, a wicket which did favor the batsmen. But I was really hoping that West Indies will have capitalized in the first innings and give England at least a 200 lead. But that yet again, it didn't materialize. But I'm happy that they picked up 4 points. Both teams picked up 4 points in that encounter. And the two teams now head to Bridgetown, Barbados for the second test match, which starts next week. Staying with cricket, still international, the West Indies women suffered their first defeat in the ICC Women's World Cup, losing to India by a massive 155 runs. And if I tell you something, Sanusha, I really felt it for the girls last night, because at one point, like, they didn't have a clue what was happening. And India gave us some serious blows, 317 in 50 overs. In India, 317 for 8 in their allotted 50 overs. Mahana, 123 and Kerr, 109. Bowling for West Indies, Anissa Mohammed, 2 for 59, while Cornell, Matthews, Selman, Dottin, and Aline pick up 1 wicket each. West Indies reply, 162, all out in 40.3 overs. Dottin, 62, Matthews, 43, Nation, 19. Bowling for India, Raina, 3 for 22, and Singh, 2 for 27. And I tell you, I literally fell asleep on that, because I couldn't see my girls getting blown, so I tell you that's it. Meanwhile, on the good side of things, Sandosha, the West Indies women, Sherman Campbell produced a tremendous match-winning innings. Then Shamalia Cornell followed up with 3 wickets to give West Indies a sensational win over defending champions England in their second ICC Women's World Cup. Batting first, West Indies 2-5 for 6 in the allotted 50 overs. Campbell 60, Nation 49 not out. The pair added 123 for the 5th wicket, while Matthews 45 and Dottin 31 posted the highest opening partnership, 81 in 20 overs. Sophie Celestone was England's best bowler with 3 for 20 from her 10 overs. England in reply, 218 all out in 47.4 overs. Tammy Beaumont, 46. Sophia Dunkley, 38. Danny Wyatt and Sophie Elestone, 33 each, while Kate Ross chipped in with 27. At one point, England, they were 94 for 5. Bowling for West Indies, Cornell 3 for 48, Anissa Mohammed 2 for 24, Haley Matthews 2 for 40, on 1 wicket each to Aline and Stephanie Taylor. The West Indies will play the next match on the 17th. That's next week against Bangladesh. And I'm still staying with some cricket, but this time on the local scene, and I'm referring to the St. Lucia National Cricket Association Independence Cup. A match was scheduled at Grosley today. 2 matches, one at 10 and one at 2 p.m. In fact, the one at 10 was washed out because of overnight showers. And that will have been Bamono and Mondipo. But the second game was scheduled for 2, Grosley versus Mikud, that did not materialize, as Mikud did not show up for that encounter. In fact, there were quite a few matches, 6, 7, 8 matches on schedule, but I have no report on that yet. But matches continue tomorrow, weather permitting. And of course, in Group A from 10 a.m. at the Minfield Park, Barbados versus Mabuya, and Vifot North plays Dennery at PI. While at 2 p.m. at the Wen playing field, Choiseul versus the home team, Monrepo. In Group B, from 10 a.m., Vifot South takes on Labrie. And at 2 p.m., Mikud versus South Castries at the Grosley playing field, and Soufre plays Deriso at PI. We turn our attention now to local football. And of course, competitive football returns to the SAB playing field after 2 years due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The Cashes Football Council kick off the SLFA Promotional League earlier today. In fact, I am supposed to be getting the score anytime from now, so I will keep you in touch onto this one. But the first encounter, Naya FC played Valley Soccer. Meanwhile, 3 clubs will compete in the single round robin competition, with the winner gaining promotion to the President's Cup. The participating teams, Pioneers FC, Valley Soccer Club, and Naya FC. Next weekend, 19th March, Naya will face or play Pioneers FC, while the final encounter is scheduled for Saturday 26th, when Pioneers take on Valley Soccer. And of course, Cashews Football Council, they have extended an invitation to football fans to come out and support St. Lucia present and future talent on display as they do battle to be crowned CFC SLFA Promotional League champions for 2022. And it just dawned on me that a round robin, 3 teams. So it led me to wonder that VSADC is in Division 1 and Lancers FC in Division 2. So you have a Cashews League, Cashews, and you have 5 teams under the umbrella of the Cashews Football Council. And not too far from that, from Cashews Football Council, you have the Lottery League, which I'm not sure how many teams are playing under that umbrella. And a stone throw away, you have the Marshall League. I'm not sure how many teams under that umbrella as well. But you refer to a league, and you have 5 teams. You need now to ask yourself questions, whether we're developing football in this country, or whether we see it as a pastime or recreation. Cashews, in the year 2022, I need to check on this one. Yeah. I turn my attention to the SLFA Cup. Matches will continue on Monday, 14th March at the Derry playing field from 6 p.m. South Castries versus Laclery, and Ancillary play Chauzel at 8 p.m. While at 6 p.m. Monrepo will meet the National Under-20 at the Philip Master Ground in Vieux-Fort. On Tuesday 15th from 6 p.m. at the Derry playing field, Derriso versus Central Castries, and Grosley play Canaries at 8 p.m. At the Philip Master Ground from 6 p.m. in an East Coast derby, Mabuya will fancy the chances against Denry, while Vieux-Fort South versus Roseau at 8 p.m. I now turn my attention to some athletics, and I'm referring to the NCAA Indoor Track and Field Championship, and of course a number of National Athletic Association and coaches throughout the Caribbean, and by extension St. Lucia, will be keeping a close watch on the athletes in a number of events this evening in the track and field. And I'm referring to the NCAA Division 1 and 2 Men and Women Outdoor Track and Field Championship. The championship is an annual collegiate outdoor track and field competition for men organized by the National Collegiate Athletic Association, which is NCAA. This evening, St. Lucia will compete in division, well, I'm referring to Julian Alfred. She will compete in the women's 60 meter, and soon followed by this 200 meter final. In fact, yet last evening, she ran a record, or the fastest time for this year, 7.04 seconds. And of course, Julian, I mean, if you can recall, she won a gold medal at the Junior Commonwealth Games in 2017 in the Bahamas. And of course, she went over to Argentina and won a silver in the 100 meters in the Youth Olympic Games in 2018. Also competing this evening, Michaela Hyacinth will compete in Division 2 Women 60 meter final. Ruben Nichols will compete in the men 400 meter, and the men 4x4 100 meter, while Dylan Edwin will run the final in the 60 meter 400 meter final and men 4x4 100 meter final. So we here at UTV, and of course by extension our sports enthusiasts, wish our quartet all the very best in their final events, and that will be running next hour at 7:20 local time. Based on the information I received not too long ago, that they have moved the times from 9:15, 9:40 to 7:20. They have actually moved it to 2 hours ahead. So our athletes will be competing in those events. I will take my first break, but when I come back, I have some more sporting news for you. So you do run to the kitchen, grab something to drink, a snack or something, and get back here. I'll be right back.
Sale. Ayen ba oli a madame là? Bel piment, banane pour faire bouillon, jan mou.
Non merci, moi pas vle.
Sale. Give me your money and get my produce. Sale. J'ai moins $5 tout sel.
Ma ve.
Tony celery, ti l'oignon. Sale. Cette ici, c'est moins disons. Nous tous besoin de tourisme. C'est pas moun qui ka travaille en hôtel tout seul qui ka dépend en lay. À présent, bagay mauvais. Mais nous kay continuer planter et bagay kay vin meilleur. En nous vini ensemble. Supporter yon a l'autre et goumer bagay Covid ça là.
Vaccinate, wear a mask, wash your hands, and maintain a 6-feet distance. If we keep St. Lucia safe, we can keep our economy running.
Hi there, this is exclusive hot.
You're watching UTV TV for you.
Last week, saw the passing of three legends in the cricketing world, and I'm referring to Sonny Ramadine, West Indies, age 92. Then we had Rodney Marsh, age 74, and Shane Warne, age 52, both Australians. In fact, Tuesday, the St. Lucia Boxers Association was plunged into mourning upon hearing of the passing of the first vice president. I'm referring to Robert Joseph, following a brief period of illness. Up to the time of his passing, Joseph was a member of the St. Lucia Boxing Federation, where he served for more than a decade. He was St. Lucia Basketball Association Secretary before being elected SLBA, first vice president last December at Olympic House in La Clery. Last month, Joseph, an international boxing referee, one star, was appointed to the competition committee of the American Boxing Confederation, AMBC. It's a sad day for me as a person and as president of our boxing association, said SLBA President David Six Christopher on Wednesday. Robert was like a brother to me. Christopher said he first met Joseph a year ago at a boxing exhibition when Joseph Respirera was president of the association. Joseph, a former boxer himself, expressed interest in joining the SLBA. Robert grew from strength to strength within the association, Christopher recalled. He moved from being a referee, judge, to secretary, to first vice president. Robert was always dedicated and ensured that everything was well organized. Christopher added, he always pushed for St. Lucia boxers getting the best exposure and recognition, and that they were on top of their game. Joseph was instrumental in the refurbishment of the video gym and also played various other roles in the association. He will be surely missed, Christopher stated. In 2019, when I had some medical issues, Robert held the reins and steered our association through some turbulent times. He also represented me at a major IBA conference in Panama. Christopher expressed sympathies to Joseph's family. I want to wish Robert's family, relatives, and friends the best of courage as they go through this tough period. Former SLBA President Joseph Respirera joined in paying tribute to the late sports administrator, describing him or Joseph passing as a great loss to boxing in St. Lucia and the Caribbean. The passing of Robert is a real shock to boxing, Pereira said on Wednesday. I was extremely lucky when he approached my association and offered his services. Initially, he had a boxing background in England, but quickly moved into the area of refereeing. He moved on and became an official and was excellent on the computer. Pereira added, when you think of his passing, you must also think of his immediate family and friends. His wife has a strong personality. All our sympathies and thoughts are with her and their children. And I need to read that here. And not often when someone passed, you find the international body will send sympathy, or if they do, maybe the executives keep it to themselves and never make it public. But surely the Boxing Association made this public. The IBA, which is based in Lausanne, Switzerland, issued a statement on Wednesday, March 9th, signed by IBA President Omar Kremliv. The statement reads, Dear St. Lucia Boxing Association and dear family of Mr. Robert Joseph, on behalf of myself and the entire boxing family, I would like to express my most heartfelt condolences and my deepest sympathy for the mourning of Mr. Joseph. He dedicated many years of his life to the development of boxing in St. Lucia and devoted considerable efforts to make sure that St. Lucia athletes have the best condition and opportunities to improve their performance. I'm convinced that the legacy that Robert left will be always remembered and that his great work will be continued for the benefit of sport. Would you please pass our sincerest condolences to all of your family members and let them know we share your sorrow. The executive committee and other members of the St. Lucia Boxing Association express our deepest condolences to the family, relatives, and friends of Robert. We pledge our commitment to ensuring that his contribution to our sport will be immortalized. And of course, on behalf of UTV management and our viewers, I want to take this time to wish the Boxing Association, of course the boxing family, and Robert immediate family, God's strength as you all commence your period of mourning. I had the pleasure of meeting him on several occasions in terms of Creole boxing and OECS boxing, and I can safely say a wonderful soul. May he rest in peace. Okay. We turn our attention to swimming, and of course I'm referring to Faith Jeffrey, character debutant. Faith continued to smash records in the swimming pool, representing the Pirate Swim Club in Barbados at last weekend Barbados Association Long Course National Championship. In the 11 to 12 age group, she captured 6 silver and 3 bronze medals to finish second overall in that age group. She also went on to smash 2 St. Lucia age group records, the 400 meter free and 200 meter individual medley. Both were records she had already from last year. And of course, congrats to Faith on her latest achievement, and we look forward to her representing St. Lucia at her first Carifta Swim Championship next month at the Barbados Aquatic Center in Bridgetown. And of course, that's Faith here, and she will be competing in a number of events. Of course, like I said earlier, she moved over to Barbados with her parents, as they are both employed in Barbados. And she represents, while in Barbados, she represents the Pirate Swim Club. Now, I'm going to move my attention now to some more talking. And I'm staying with swimming. And I will be getting in touch with the assistant coach of CJ's Swim Club, and I'm referring to John McLennan. And good evening, John. Good evening.
Good evening.
And how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you very much.
All is well, all is well.
Yep.
We have some issues to deal with this evening. I know you can handle these questions. I mean, I know hard questions. I normally leave the questions for the politicians, you know. The hard questions for politicians. But St. Lucia, this is John McLennan.
Yes.
And just let me quickly pull up something here.
Thank you for having me.
You're most welcome. Let me pull up something here on John. Where is it? Just 1 second, John. Just 1 second. Of course, John McLennan, a BSc in Business Management, and of course started coaching in 2015 with Racers Swim Club and moved to CJ's, and where he is currently the assistant coach.
Hello?
I say, I was just giving a little something on you, let the public know.
Sorry, you're a bit low.
Oh, I was just giving the public a little something on you as to basically who is John McLennan, you know? Started coaching in 2015, and now you moved with Racers, and now you've moved to CJ's Swim Club. John, with 1 week before the St. Lucia Aquatic Federation Independence Classic, what's the latest in terms of CJ's preparation, knowing full well COVID did play a negative role or negative part over the last 2 years?
Well, you're correct. During the last 2 years, we did have a really negative impact on swimming. We lost quite a few swimmers who did not return. I think all the clubs have suffered that same fate. And on top of that, too, I guess because of restrictions and protocols, we were not able to put on meets. And a lot of our swimmers strive on meet. If there's no meet, they kind of sit back and relax and get disinterested in swimming. So because of that now, we've really lost quite a few swimmers. But nonetheless, CJ's has been training right through, with the exception of the times that we had we couldn't swim because of the shutdown. But we have pushed right through, and we still have a good amount of swimmers, good amount of athletes that's really interested in the sport, and they stick on with it. And coming up to next week's swim meet, we have been training. As I said, nothing has changed really. The intensity is there for our swimmers. Those who have returned, especially younger ones, we spend a lot of time on technique, turns, just fine-tuning them for the swim meet for next week coming up.
You mentioned quite a few swimmers have so far shy away from swimming. What's the number like? In terms of, say quite a few, what's the number like?
Our numbers right now, we are between 30 to 40 swimmers.
30 to 40.
Yeah.
And just before the COVID, you were like 50, 60?
Higher. We were almost 50, 60.
60.
Going in that side. And also quite a few older swimmers like Jan and Devin Buddha and Terrell. They're all overseas now, so we've lost the older age group swimmers who are now swimming in colleges in the States.
Okay. So the local ones, any effort has been made in terms of the psyche to get them back in the pool?
Well, what the association, the federation is trying to do now, along with the with RAC Aquatic Center, is to really try to build back the swim meets, and with that will come interest in the kids into swimming, and they will start coming out more and more. Hopefully, that's the plan, that they're going to see swimming is moving on. The public will also see it. I'm hoping that the school's program also starts back, if it has not already, to try to push swimming.
Great. Like you said earlier, you lost quite a few in terms of the Jehan and Buddha. They at colleges or universities in the United States and further afield. What's your expectation like for next weekend?
Great. Trust me, we have a set of younger swimmers coming up and who are really pumped, and they are ready to go. We had our first swim meet last week. I think it was the RAC, about 2 weeks ago, the RAC kickoff swim meet.
Yeah.
And hats off to RAC for actually starting off the meets for this year. We really appreciate that. And the results that we saw from our swimmers, especially the younger ones, was really, 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 exciting and encouraging as a coach. And I really look forward to see what's going to happen this weekend.
We're having a one-on-one discourse, but interestingly, you mentioned you have quite a few younger ones. Who are some of these persons or some of these swimmers? Because if a member of the public wanting to come and see the action, they too would like to know who are some of the young ones making their debut and maybe who will be competing maybe for the first, second, third time?
Yeah, we have swimmers like James. Hold on, I'm just trying to pull up. We have younger swimmers like James, who's in the 90-10, I believe, and he's a really, really, really good swimmer. He's been swimming from the time I know him as a baby, and he's still there now. We have Sophia Parks, who's also very, very good, 8 and under female. She swam really well last week, and I'm looking for her to swim again this week.
Okay.
We have, Tristan Dorville. He's the older one. But I still consider him a younger one because he's not at the Giants level yet, but he is getting there. And last week's performance at Bassa showed me what he can do, and he is primed, ready to go. He's broke a number of national records, age group records, and of all of his races he went in last week, I think there's only one race he did not come first in.
Okay.
In his age group. So that shows you.
Yeah.
His readiness. And a lot of our swimmers they're pumped, they're ready to go. I'm looking forward to seeing them perform. We have quite a few learn to swim also coming up. They also swam really well at the RAC kickoff meet.
Okay. Interestingly, you raised the point in terms of swimmers that went over to Barbados. I mean, earlier this week you returned from Barbados with 3 of your athletes who participated in the Bassa Long Course National Championship. 2 of the 3 athletes will represent St. Lucia next month at Carifta. And I'm referring to Tristan Dorville, boys 14 to 14, and Jerry Blanchard, 12 to 17. You also had a female, Kathleen Polius, girls 15 to 17. Tell us a little bit more on the performance in Barbados.
Okay, well, as I said earlier, Tristan and DeAndre already qualified for Carifta. They went more of a getting more exposure to outside meets because there was none that they could have done for the past 2 years. So they went there to see what they can do on the international level, and they did not disappoint. To up their FINA points also. The only one that went to try to qualify was Caitlin. Now, unfortunately, she didn't make the times, but her swims were really good. I saw the enthusiasm, the longiness to continue to try to make the times.
Okay.
Though she didn't get through this time, I can guarantee you probably the next meet, she can, hopefully. And we have OECS coming up, hopefully. She's going to be there on that team to go. She's primed, she's ready to go.
Okay. But in terms of DeAndre's time, what was it like?
DeAndre?
Because I know he came back with sack of medals.
Yeah, let me just pull up my which I should have had, sorry. Opened already. Okay. DeAndre, he took part in the boys 15 to 17 100 fly. Of course, he improved his time, third place. Then the 200 freestyle, improved his time, second place. The 100 freestyle, he came first. The 50 breaststroke, he improved his time, he placed fifth. In the 200 IM, he improved his time, he placed third. In the 50 fly, he improved his time, he placed first. 100 breaststroke, he improved his time, he placed third. And the 50 free, improved his time, placed third.
Okay. Interestingly, you mentioned because my viewers will be asking, but he improved his time. Is it by a few seconds or hundredth of a second? What is it like? Because persons will be asking those kind of questions.
Oh, okay. Let me put it up here. I'm just trying to get the
You know our St. Lucia public. So if it did 28 in the whatever 28.96, and you tell me he improved his time. So persons want to
yeah,
know
it's according to, well, let me see. Third place 6.38 improvement for the 100 free, minus 10.33 improvement for the 200 front roll. For the 100 freestyle, though he came first, he did not improve his time, but he still came first in that event.
Okay.
Breaststroke, he was 1.34 seconds improvement. For the 200 IM, 5.14 improvement. 50 free, 50 fly, 1.8. 100 breast, 0.05. And the 50 meters, 0.638.
638.
Improvement.
Okay. And then Trishan?
Tristan now, wow. Tristan is, Tristan competed in 10 events, and with all of the events, he placed first with the exception of one. Let's start off with 100 fly. His entry time was 103. His final time was 59.93. Yeah?
Yeah, I heard that, yeah.
He dropped 3.63. 200 freestyle, he entered with 2:11.44. His final time was 2:07.54. So it's an improvement of 3.90. Let's go to 400 meters. IM. He entered with 5:19. He did 5:12.94.
Okay. Yeah, that's a
100 freestyle, he entered with 58.74. He did 56.61. 50 backstroke, he entered with 33.28. He did 31.04. 200 meters IM, he entered with 2.26.28. He did 2.23.08. 50 fly, he entered with 28.24. He did 26.34. And the 50 freestyle, 26.48 and 25.10.
Okay. But what was the level of competition in Barbados, though?
It was very, very, very hard. It was the competition right for that meet, because it was used as a Carifta qualifier for those who didn't make it for the first time around at their respective meets. They could have gone there to qualify. So we had a lot of we have teams from Trinidad and St. Vincent and Grenada there with some of their top swimmers trying to compete.
Okay. I know the you were saying?
No, go ahead.
I know the competition at the Rodney Head Aquatic Center has always been a thrilling one that has been always, the excitement and the stiff competition. I know it has always been a rivalry between you, Sharks, Southern Flying Fish, and LA. I mean, how you see it for next weekend?
I think, well, as I told someone this week, it's really not about the coaches. I love the friendly rivalry between the clubs in terms of our children swimming, but it's about them. It's about them going to showcase themselves and what they can do, and make their parents and themselves happy.
Great.
I want all of us to be, to go there and just have a good time.
Great. Your final comment before I send you out?
Yeah, I would just want to say, well, thank you for having me. Of course, thank you to St. Lucians for supporting swimming. Please, if you can, get into the sport. It doesn't matter which club you're in. Just join swimming, learn to swim. We have too many drownings happening for the past couple of years, but
Indeed.
they shouldn't be happening. And also a big shout out to the Rodney Heights Aquatic Center for the upcoming swim meet, Rack Invitational, which will be held in the first week of April.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be normally a very intense,
Indeed.
high-end meet.
300 plus athletes from around the region, and that's going to be. I'm looking forward to that,
Not too sure how it's going to be this year, but I do know we have overseas
participants
coming down. Yeah, so hats off to them. I think that meet is going to be one of the biggest for the year so far.
So I want to thank you, John, for joining me this evening. I mean, you've definitely made your debut on Saturday Sports Night.
Yes,
I know it's not going to be the last.
I just want to say I hope it's not the last.
No, it's not the last for sure.
I did good.
It's not the last. Rest assured. But I want to wish you all the very best for next weekend. And of course,
to see you there.
To CJ's team as well, all the very best. Have a good one. Okay, thank you. Yeah. That was John Lennon, assistant coach for the CJ's Swim Club. We will be getting in touch with another individual, and I'm referring to Tessa Charles Louis. Of course, she is the president of the Lightling Aquatic Swim Club. And of course, she'll be giving her bit as well as to her team's preparation. And as they look forward to next weekend competition at the Rack in Rodney Heights. And Sandisha, I can tell you. Good evening, Tessa.
Good evening, Tony.
And how are you doing?
I'm wonderful, and you?
I'm good. Well, I guess you heard John a short while ago?
Yes, I did.
Good. So I've already started the rivalry, even on television. And it's good rivalry, between sharks and CGs and southern flying fish, Yeah,
yes, it is.
Good rivalry. Yeah. Yes, Tessa. Of course, Tessa is the president of Lightling Aquatic. Lightling Aquatic Team Club. And of course, they've won Club of the Year, I think, on 2 or 3 occasions.
On 4 occasions.
On 4 occasions, yeah.
Last one being 2020.
Yeah, it's just an indication that the club is doing well. Tessa, like John, I know 2 years persons were in the wilderness in terms of competition. You have a major one next week. What's the preparation like for Lightning Aquatic?
Well, our kids, the majority of our swimmers are back in the water and have been training. In December, we had a joint mini meet with Shark Swim Club, so that kind of got their appetite a little wet for competition. So we've been training, even when we didn't have access to the pool, when we used the beach. And so we have been trying to keep our kids in the water. For the upcoming meet, they've been training really hard. I know this week they'll be tightening things up in terms of their dives, their turns, and just their preparations. But we are ready and we are excited. We have a total of 27 athletes entered in the meet for the upcoming weekend. 27,
is that the smallest group you have ever?
No. For this year, we registered 49 swimmers. 4 of our swimmers are away at pool. So we have 45 swimmers, but not all of them have come back to active swimming. So the 27 we have entered in the meet are those who have been in training. We're looking forward to the others coming back to training soon. COVID has kind of affected us in that manner, but we keep in touch with them, so we know that they are still interested, and we are hoping that come April and in the months to come that we can get the balance of our swimmers in the water.
Okay. Who are some of the persons we should be looking forward to in terms of competition on day 1 and 2?
Okay, so we have as I'm sure you know by now that Lightning has 4 swimmers who have qualified for Carifta and are part of the Carifta team, Naima and Ethan Hazel, Carrick Charles and Nikisha Louise. So these 4 will be in action on the weekend as well. We have the likes of Courtney Paul, our senior swimmers, Courtney Paul. We have Mika Oliver, who's a swimmer out of Grenada, but currently resides in St. Lucia. So she's a member of Lightning Aquatic Swim Club. She'll be in action. We have Rohan Felicia, Janik Clement, DeAndre Edwin, Brittany Edwin, Liam Emmanuel. Let me make sure I'm not leaving anyone out. And Amadine Massey. And we have some of our younger swimmers who will be in action. Some of our relatively new ones. We have Faith Lebras, who was a competitive swimmer before but has made her comeback.
Okay.
Sage Purcell. We have Amara Reese, who is a regular. And we have the tiny ones, Jolene Raphael. This would be their second competition. They took part in the first big one, the rack kickoff meet. So we have the likes of Abigail Nicholas, Jolene Raphael, Nolan Louis, Naomi Louis, Minaj Edwin, Fabian Raymond, Ethan Calix. I think that's it. Okay. I think I missed out Aaron Charles when I call out the first set, and in the Learn to Swim group, Joral Case. So we have a mix of Learn to Swim, intermediate and senior swimmers. So a very good mix this weekend.
But the rivalry has always been, like I said earlier, with Sharks and CJs and Southern Flying Fish. What's the expectation like?
Oh, we're very excited. We know that we have some very good swimmers. We're looking forward to the relays. The relays are one of the most exciting ones, so we can't wait for the relays. We can't wait to see those kids in action, and we're just looking forward to some very exciting competition. And we know that Ellie always performs extremely well. Our kids bring it every time, and we're just looking forward to that excitement, that excitement back in the pool, back in competition.
How proud or excited is Ellie knowing that 4 of the 7 athletes to represent St. Lucia at Carifta is from Ellie?
Let me tell you, this is I couldn't even have words for this. This is like one of the most amazing things for us. It is an amazing feeling for a small club to boast 4 of the 7 Carifta swimmers. It is just amazing. We are so proud of these young people. I mean, they have, they've braved everything, not being able to compete regularly, not being able to train regularly. And, they've still brought their A game, and we are so proud of them, and we can't wait to cheer them on when they head off to Barbados.
Great.
But we are extremely proud as a club.
Just before I let you out, LA Carnival Relay, any plans of hosting one of the staple events on the SLAF calendar of events for 2022?
We are currently in discussion and seeing if we can come up with some sponsors to help us with this event. And we would really love to see it on the calendar. We would love to see more meets on the calendar. And we're hoping, because, it has been a little challenging with, just getting everybody back in the pool financially and everything. So we are a club who normally do a lot of fundraising, and COVID prevented us from doing that. So we're so thankful to the persons who have sponsored us, and I just need to big up Togs and Helen Gobat. They have been amazing to the Lightning Swim Club, and I just want to say a big thank you to Togs, the Oliver Gobat Foundation, and thank you especially to Helen for always assisting when we call on. So we're hoping to get a title sponsor for our relay carnival, and once we can get that, we will be putting it on.
And what dates you looking at if it do come a reality?
Well, the slot we have in the calendar should be around May, June, thereabouts.
Okay. Did I miss out anything? Anything you like to share with my viewers? Final comment?
Well, final comments, we just want to say thank you to the general public. Thank you to everyone who has supported LA Swim Club and swimming in general. It is an amazing thing for kids to be in sport. We at LA have seen the benefits. Our kids are really versatile. They excel at academics and everything, and it is their sporting background that gives them the discipline to be able to move on and achieve great things. So we want to encourage persons who may be a little skeptical about sports to keep the kids in sports. It really, really helps them. We want to say best of luck to our fellow competitors for the upcoming weekend. LA is bringing it, so we are ready. And thank you, Tony, for all your support. You have been amazing to LA in terms of getting our information out there and, just highlighting and showcasing the talent of our young swimmers.
You're very much welcome, Tessa Charles Louis. I want to thank you again, and of course, like I said to John, it's not the last. Certainly, when things get going for the LA relay, you will definitely be in studio.
Thank you for having me, Tony.
Yes, you have a good one. Have a good night, yeah. Enjoy the weekend.
Thanks.
Okay.
Good night. Bye.
That was Tessa Charles Louis, president of Lightning Aquatic Swim Club. And as you heard earlier from John and Tessa, the competition is going to be stiff. And of course, all of the St. Lucia athletes who will represent St. Lucia at Carifta will be in action. So they live in no stone unturned. Of course, rest assured, St. Lucia swimming. Boy, if I tell you, you don't believe me. Don't tell nobody. Because the parents and them, they just come out and support those kids. And I simply hope the other sports have a similar culture where parents come out and support kids. Not a drop-off, but you stay there for the day and support your kids. Go, John. Go, Paul. Go. Boy, when you live there, you're deaf, because of the shouting. I want to wish the St. Lucia Aquatic Federation all the very best in the planning stage for next weekend. Also next week, you will see the St. Lucia Athletic Association hosting their Crafter trial in terms of the Junior Track and Field Championship at the George Odom Stadium in Vieux-Fort. And of course, it's 2 days of competition, 19th and 20th of March. And of course, as in the south and in the north, you will have swimming competition for 2 days. I just received some info here, and I'm referring to Cash's Football Council. Remember, I said earlier, they kick off the promotion of the league with the SLFA, and the winning team in the round robin will represent Castries Football Council in the President's Cup. And not too long ago, final score, Naya FC 4, Valley Soccer 0. Lesroy Alexander 2 goals and 1 each to Dylan, Lucien and Jimmy Alfred. Again, 4-0 in favor of Naya FC over Valley Soccer Club. And I want to say a big thank you to Greg Matre for the information. And of course, Greg is also a stalwart of VSADC in Castries. St. Lucia, as I'm about to close, certainly time do go by quickly. To those persons who lost a loved one. And in fact, even before I go to that, and SLFA, don't believe I don't have the information in terms of constitution, in terms of information in VFOT election today. I have the information, you know. But I'm not one of those that is run and just say things. No. I want to make sure that I have everything covered. And then I will address those issues. I'm not those people on the outside, when they hear and see there's a grab and take or grab and go. No. I want to ensure that I have all my information, and then I will discuss the SLFA constitution, and then I will discuss the VFOT South election which took place earlier today. Rest assured, the movie not sleeping. All right? Good. St. Lucia, I want to extend my congratulatory to those who celebrated birthdays and weddings or whatever it was. 50 years at work, whatever. Congratulations. God blessings. Those who lost a loved one, deepest sympathies to each and every one of you as you commence your prayer of mourning. Those going to their respective place of worship tomorrow, safe journey mercies to and from. Our drivers, please drive carefully on our roads. Like I've always said, the life that you save may well be yours. All right? Our motorcyclists. Now remember, we here at UTV, we keep on reminding you to be careful, you know. And those playing cowboy and crooks, please, the time has come now to put those guns down. And let's unite as a one, as a country, as a people. I mean, it's definitely getting out of hand, St. Lucia. I'm appealing to you on Saturday sports night. Stop the violence. Please, stop. It is not good for our country. We are losing our young men. Please, stop. This is one of my biggest contributions on this program. Stop the violence, St. Lucia. Please, walk away. Walk away. Just walk away. It happened years gone. Peace. You know what I'm saying? And as I say peace, let's continue praying for those persons in Ukraine with what I consider to be I don't know what word to use now. A war that's, you know, right. We have lifted the curfews and whatever. St. Lucia, don't let your guards down. There's a new variant, and it's called Delta Cron, a mix of Delta and Omicron. And it's in the US, Denmark, and Netherlands. St. Lucia, don't let our guards down. Please remain safe. Enjoy the weekend, and all the very best for a productive week ahead. Dibo, I'm gone.